He's based out of Delaware.
Okay.
And it was fun. You know, I was going up there. You know, 2-3 times.
It was business because it's your money on the line.
Definitely.
Right.
No major labels.
Yeah, no doubt. It was fun. It gave me. I mean, it's more work than what I expected. Honestly, I mean, because
you're doing a bunch of different. You're writing and the performer in it, so that's 2 big jobs right there.
Yeah, it was definitely. But creatively, it was great. It was great collaborations. I also worked with Anthony Johnson. He produced a song off of the EP. He's from Virginia, and I worked with So For Real Productions.
You deal with some legit individuals. Okay.
Yeah. So.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I am your host, Love Donna. I have with me my co-host, Miss Lisha G.
Hey.
I'm sorry, I'm going to do things at one time. Let me stop. First of all, how is everybody doing this this awesome Thursday? I gotta stop. Y'all know am I one?
Yeah. I think I had
Okay, now one. All right.
way too much coffee today. But I had an abundance of water. But this last cup of coffee just kind of put me over.
First of all, y'all, let me first start off by saying that it is cold outside. I don't know if y'all know that it is cold outside. I did have me a nice big large cup of coffee this morning. I had intended on getting a nice cup of cocoa. So you must have knew I was right up here.
See, he knew
I was getting ready to get a nice cup of cocoa tonight for the night show because it was a little chilly. But my wonderful friend who treated me to a cup of cocoa,
he is a wonderful
in turn, came to me with a cup of coffee.
He tried.
Now,
and you got shot.
Listen, y'all.
Wow.
Listen. He said he asked for cocoa, and the man responded hot or cold. Down to the Dunkin' Donuts.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hot or cold. Who drinks cold cocoa?
He don't know that.
Here you come.
See, you know, set yourself up.
First and foremost,
I don't hear you.
get this? Can you hear me?
No.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't hear you on here.
But I'm not in that. I'm in the mic.
Oh.
There you go. Boy.
Thank you. So, first and foremost, he asked me hot or cold, and I said hot. Who drinks hot chocolate hot?
Cold.
So I said it twice. Well, cold.
You mistaken.
I got you, Nate.
Thank you. And he said, oh, okay, and he giggled, and he went and made it.
He giggled and gave you coffee anyway.
Now, because I don't drink hot chocolate, or coffee, I'm not tasting anybody's stuff. I'm not smelling anybody's stuff.
I would hope that you wouldn't taste it anyway.
Listen, at the end of the day, I thank you for the attempt, I have coffee.
I mean,
I just know that if I would have went in the store for you, I would have made sure that you got what you asked for because that's my.
So you would have tasted my stuff? Please
I didn't say taste it.
Please don't taste it.
But it's this is cocoa side because you were mistaken when you asked me how the cold. So I just want to make sure you did get the almond joy cocoa right. No, but that's it.
Well,
it's
clearly
okay,
I would never have gotten you coffee like on purpose because we know that you don't do well with coffee.
First of all, are you trying to come for me? I drink coffee every single day. I have my coffee, and I do very well with coffee. I don't, though, do well with food poisoning. That's what.
Nate,
I don't.
Do we need to relive?
Nate, it didn't happen. Never happened. I wasn't there. It never happened.
Okay. I'm sorry, viewers. Y'all had nothing to do with this. I just hope that moving forward, you get what it is, whatever it is you pay your money for. I, in turn, thought that I had cocoa, and I do not. And I'm a little chilly.
Did you get a whole gulp? Like you that ain't it.
I knew it wasn't it when I looked at the cup because it was clearly coffee. I mean, like it's just like really light brown, real tan like. But
so now it's sitting on your stomach.
No, it's sitting on this table.
And I should turn the heat on in there so it can start cooking.
Go ahead, got the heat on, get some cold. It's cold. Which had nothing to do with today's show. Let me first start off by saying last week we had media moments and we talked about several different things. I know Jennifer Hudson, for whatever reason, was more of a topic than what I expected it to be on last week, and some other things that we discussed as far as the detective and so forth. So we had a lot of things. Of course, we talked about the whole sexual harassment, and because last week Matt Lauer was fired and so forth. We talked about different things, and we didn't get a chance to finish it all, so we decided that we would bring it over into this week. But before we can get into any of that, because the Coco kind of took precedence for whatever reason, we must first give a shout out, a hoop hoop, congratulations, a attaboy,
Yes.
whatever you want to the Be Exposed radio station as a whole, the Station 1 Radio Station of the Year,
That's
right
big.
for last at the Baltimore Music Awards.
That's a big deal.
It is a very big deal. You know, eventful night. There was a lot of winners. There was just as many losers.
I knew it was coming. I knew it.
But on the contrary, Be Exposed did win. And, you know, it felt great. Kudos to Monty, Nate, Nicole, everybody who pulled together and do the producing of the shows. And I mean, it's some really good content here, some very good shows. And to my knowledge, those who are listening, there's some slots available. If you feel like you have what it takes and you want to come on and get you a show down to the Be Exposed, down to the radio station of the year, you know, call up 410-702-5657 and talk to someone and see how that works out for you. I'm sorry, what?
So I just want to let people know, because there were 2 incidents. If it was just one incident, I wouldn't have said anything.
Okay. I can't hear you though.
But can you hear me now? Let me turn it up a little bit. So there were 2 instances of infractions, fashion infractions. Now I can take somebody wearing something that's inappropriate, like too short, too tight, too sheer. But when you dress, the tag should not still be on your fur coat, and the security sensor should not be on the bottom.
Security sensor?
Security sensor.
So
I didn't see the security. That was on her jacket too?
The lady who was presenting to Rough Ends, she had the long sheer everything on.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a security sensor, that brown one, the old brown one.
Oh, the flat.
You know, it's like the little brown one where it's like a pin on both sides.
Yeah.
It's like that long. That was at the bottom. So that means none of her friends really like her. Because nobody said, hey, you got that big sensor.
I'm sorry. Well, you know what? It was sheer. So you would think that you could see it or feel it.
But you can't take it off without ripping the material if you don't have the proper
You can if you pay for it. You can just, they got
apparently.
Oh.
Now to her, you know, to her defense, I've gone out stores where the person forgot to take the sensor off.
Absolutely.
But I took my stuff back to the
with the
store.
receipt.
Right.
Take it back off. I wasn't so pressed to wear my new fresh outfit because Rough Ends, I was presenting to Rough Ends.
Listen, I didn't know that they were there. Let's start with that, because we had some situations where a lot of people weren't, but they were there, and I was glad. Really sorry. They were there. It was a nice gathering.
I'm so disappointed that I could not make it.
It was. I mean, if nothing else, we had a night full of giggle.
We had a good giggle.
I mean, very good. But I liked Rough Ends. They had a lot to say. If you go to Sunset Soul page, there's some. There's a good amount of clips of some of the things that happened throughout the night. Hopefully you can hear it because it was kind of loud and my phone. It kind of, you know, it was the parts where they were singing is a little muffled, but the show you can still see.
Was singing?
Not singing. I'm sorry, rapping because the bass was so loud that it was just.
Did the Creek Boys come?
No, the Creek Boys. They won.
They won, but
they won some things. And people took their award on behalf of the Creek Boys. Was it for that?
No, it was one guy there from the Creek.
From the Creek Boys?
Yeah, it was one.
Did he come and pick up the award?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He jumped up on the stage at the last minute.
Oh, I didn't see that. Now, towards the end of the night, the performances got better. There was some rappers that were pretty good. Yeah. And I wasn't expecting it. You know, after a few performances, I just kind of expected it to kind of stay status. The course. But they got better. So let's just say
it's a lot of shade.
No, it did. It really did. It really did. It was a fun night. You know, it started off a little shaky, but it was a fun night ultimately. And at the end of the day, we won. That's what this. That's what those things. Be Exposed won, so that says a lot about the station. So I just wanted to make sure that we took some time and paid homage and said congratulations to Be Exposed and everybody who had a hand in them winning.
You on the station? Like you said it as if you're another station.
I'm saying everyone, including myself, everyone that has taken a part into helping towards winning this award. Whoever it is, the engineers, producers, all of the shows, I'm quite sure I said.
And the co-hosts.
And the co-hosts. Everyone.
Can I just add one more thing? It's still about the fur coat. Now,
oh my goodness.
We were debating on whether to tell her that she had a tag on.
Right.
I wouldn't have told her.
This young lady stood beside her while they both waited to go into the restroom, and she never said anything to him. Now that's a sister.
What you're not going to do, is not be honest, because we are honest here on Sunset Soul radio show. Tell these people the truth. I waited for over an hour to use the bathroom before we got inside of the. So do you think I'm concerned about telling somebody about a tag when we finally made?
But we supposed to be uplifting sisters in 2000.
I absolutely agree, but I can't uplift anybody when I have to go to the bathroom.
And you know the funny thing about it, Lisha, she was a performer, so she would have went on stage with that tag.
Well, see, here's my dilemma, because I understand the struggle, Nate. And a lot of times, women have a tendency to buy stuff with the intention of taking it back.
But it was a good jacket because it was pinned. The tag was pinned.
So she wait. Was it inside of her garment?
It was hanging outside, and it was a big tag.
So she had to know that was there, though.
She was a little inebriated when I told her. By the time I told her, we were probably like an hour, 45 minutes into this event. It hadn't started yet, but it was still an hour, 45 minutes in. And she was a little intoxicated when I said something to her.
But you think she was intoxicated when she got dressed?
Apparently. Or she snatched it and ran.
Or she just forgot the tag was there.
No, I'm just saying.
She didn't come alone, and nobody said.
And that's what exactly I'm saying. That if you have friends with you and nobody mentioned that tag, or you didn't take it off, then maybe she was intending on taking it back. And who am I?
But I say it was a good jacket because you know how when it's a string, like a piece of string, and it's on a nice card stop, you can tell it was a safety pin on the inside holding that in.
Oh, so she could have put it back on if that was her plan.
Right, so that's the part that
I probably would have told that.
It was bothering me. I ended up being the one that told her. And
yes, he was, because I was not, and his issue was because I was next to her at the bathroom and I didn't tell her. My issue was you told her after I came back from the bathroom. In turn, she gonna be like, she could have told me while we was over there.
And she sit down right beside me. So.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm just feeling like Keisha's only concerned about Keisha right now.
I am.
That's what I'm saying.
And ain't nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely
not.
So we have to respect Keisha. That was a grown woman who knew what she was doing. And she got up there and performed, and she would have performed with that tag on if it was for me. I would have.
Well, the other lady did the presentation with the sensor on it, so it don't really
it obviously was a theme of the night. Why? Who am I? Who am I to judge?
Because the tag was white, so with the bright lights, it may have been distracting, but that was a straight sensor. That means somebody didn't take that off at the store, which means you could have possibly stole it. The tag means I was ghetto and I needed to find something hot to wear, and I just bought a jacket and forgot to take the tag off.
Well,
means
it's off now.
Yeah,
it's off now. She performed. Yay to you! You did your good deed. She made it. I think it was an article. I forgot her name.
That was a really good
article. You saw the article, and they made mention of that.
That's how it got notable mention.
As well as your tie flying in the wind, which was a nice tie. But overall, it was a very eventful night. I can't take nothing away from it outside the fact that it started, like I said, a little late. But it was an eventful night. Outside of that, I wanted to ask for those who are watching. As I said, if you're interested in getting a show, call in. If you're interested in any promotions. As you can see, it's a award-winning station, so you might want to jump on that.
Yeah.
You can do the ads. The ads that play on the commercial break, you could have an ad put up there. You can have an ad put on the Be Exposed webpage, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. and also clips played through the commercial break. So if there's something you're interested in, as I say, hit me up, inbox me, or call 410-702-5657. When we come back, we're going to dive into some of these media moments we have yet to get started. Our guests are on the way up. We'll be right back.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I know the wait is killing you. Suspense is building. All this stuff in the news keeps happening, and I'm not even here to talk about it. But look, on May 17th at 7 p.m., Talk Lately with me, Monty, is back. We can get into the gossip, all the entertainment news, the politics, everything. It's open to interpretation, but I'm going to put a spin on it with my flair of funny. And it all goes down right here on BeExposedRadio.com, and we on YouTube. So get ready. You should already be ready.
Got Nicole that holds us down, and Nate, and just so many, and all of our engineers that are here. We thank y'all so much, because y'all help to allow the trains to keep running, and y'all keep us on our toes. Y'all keep us together. So thank you so much. If you're just tuning in, this is Miss B Inspired on the mic.
And the artisan Angel HL7 Azrael. And
Blizzard is on his way. I think he had to teach again tonight. Did he have to teach?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. So, again, welcome, everybody. Again, Be Exposed Radio brought home that award. That's all I need to say. From the Baltimore Music Awards last night, and a bunch of the Be Exposed Radio family went to the award show. Unfortunately, I was not able to go, but I was getting the play-by-play. I was on social media the whole time waiting to hear we won the award. And when I got the word, I made sure that I posted it on social media, because first of all, I want to thank everybody that supports this station, and that also supports the Be Inspired radio show. Of course, you know we can't do what we do without you all, and without you listening and participating in our shows week in and week out. So we appreciate you so much. I already gave all my thank yous earlier. I think my post got maybe 140 some likes. It was a lot.
Probably.
It was a lot, because people really love Be Exposed Radio.
Because we won. We're winners. It's all we do.
That
win.
So thank you, everybody. And make sure you share this video out with everybody, all of your friends. Make sure you invite them to participate and watch tonight's show. We have a fun show, as always, planned out for you. So tonight is Finish Strong. That's the topic for tonight, Finish Strong. And we're going to be doing a vision board party. And we got all of our goodies for the vision board. We have our handy dandy glue sticks. We got some Post-it notes. We have some stickers, some other fun Post-it notes. This one says dream big. What else do we have? We have some stickers. So a lot of the stuff that I did have to bring tonight, I left at home, so I had to go out and buy some more materials. But that's what's fun. We get to be creative with making our vision board. So again, our topic tonight is Finish Strong. We are in December. Happy December, everybody. We came down to this month real fast. Like, I don't know where the year went. Do you?
Nah.
I looked up and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's December. What happened to the rest of the months in the year?
Like, it was really slow going through it, but now that I'm at the end of the year, it's just like, that was pretty quick.
Crystal Renee Radio Show.
Yeah, they have plenty of them. We call them pen pals in my family.
So glad you said that word, because I've actually found out that there are websites, ladies and gentlemen. There are dating websites for men who are incarcerated. Yes. I'm so fucking lonely. I just may sign up for one of those websites.
Don't do it.
Do you think I shouldn't?
Because they passing your letters around.
Is that what they do?
And one of his friends go send you a letter and...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Nate, honey, can you hear me? No, I can't. Oh. He's so neat. Okay, I'm a little confused, but anywho, before the commercial break, we were talking about some of the well, we actually didn't get into much. We said we are going to get to when we come back, the media moments. But before we get into that, I want to introduce my guest, Bishop LeVar.
Hello.
Jamie Pendelton.
Oh, we're not using titles today. Scoot forward.
LeVar.
Scoot forward a little bit.
Don't let him knock.
Hello.
Wait, time out. Cause he a little chocolatey up against that chocolate wall. Can you take that? No, seriously, you can't. I can't see you.
Bless the Lord, everyone. How is everyone doing? Praise the Lord. Hallelujah.
You have on all black.
So listen.
No, seriously, I'm not being rude. You have on all black against a black wall, and you a nice dark complexion.
Let's switch seats.
Can you at least take the hat off?
Let's switch seats.
Take your hat off, please. We're inside the building.
Wow, man.
Did Mama teach you some home training?
This the radio.
Oh my God.
This ain't home.
First, last week, it's so crazy because last week we were talking about Tyrese, and I had to offer my apology because I was here for Tyrese, and I said that, and I said Tyrese came back and admitted last week. I said he admitted that all the stuff that he said. So I figured I'm gonna act like you ain't even do that. I don't care. I'm still gonna support him. I figured this was done. I figured that once he admitted this, and the fact that Will didn't give and Jada didn't give him the money and so forth, and that the medication had him saying some really strange things, I thought it was over. I thought that was his cop out for all of the stuff that he had done that was a bit outrageous. But on yesterday, he went and did another radio show and admitted to marriage fraud. He admitted that marriage fraud. He admitted that he married the woman because she was pregnant with his daughter, and he didn't want her to leave to go back out of the country, so he married her. And he said this, not only are you jeopardizing yourself, you're now jeopardizing this woman. He flat out said, I did not marry her for love. I married her so that she could stay.
But no, because she had his child.
Yes, and he wanted her to stay.
That is actually just causes people get married for that reason all the time.
Mm-hmm. So that's not considered
fraud
to marry?
No.
Well, what about her? Is she in jeopardy?
No.
Not at all.
I mean, they had an intimate relationship.
Right, prior to the marriage.
Right. So no, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
I mean, people could pick at it, but
I mean they're definitely picking at it. But they said, this was based on someone else's opinion. They were saying that basically that it's illegal to marry for to say you marry someone out of the country for any other reason outside of love. That's what they supposedly look for. So to get on the radio publicly and say I did not marry her for love, I married her so that she could stay in the country, like that was flat out.
But here's my but when you have a child in the country, they normally let you stay in the country anyway because the child is a U.S. citizen.
The child's born. If the child is born here,
not the mother,
right?
But they let the mother stay. The child is born here. That's what normal practices is. If the child
not
is
right
here,
now under 45.
Well, the baby's 10, so 45 wasn't in office then. Bush was in office then.
Or still.
So the laws have changed recently, but at this point, she got grandfathered in.
So the child will be. So the marriage is legitimized because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well then he knew what he was doing. I'm here for Tyrese. Y'all the ones wasn't here for Tyrese. I'm here for. I'm glad.
Tyrese ain't bothering me.
No, he seems to be bothering a lot of people because he just kind of over the top with some of the stuff that he say. So kudos for him.
He's emotional.
He's very emotional.
Very emotional.
But
he's been through some stuff.
He's been through a lot, but that doesn't justify. I mean, and if it was justifiable, he would have used that. In turn, he's using the fact that the medication caused him to say and do some of the things that he said. I hope that be the case, because if he can easily,
you can't believe anything he says now.
No, wait a minute. Have you ever seen Have you seen the commercials for medication? If you got acid reflux, take this medicine. It can cause you to have crazy dreams, hallucinations, gout, big toe, the big cancer,
big
toe. Have you seen what they say about medications these days? The side effects is worse than some of the conditions they give you for.
And listen,
so I mean, you
so
can't
that
say
justifies his outrageous.
Yeah, you ever take something that made you go crazy?
Okay, one day, and then tomorrow you be like, "What the hell did I take?" Okay, let's not take that anymore.
So I mean, the man was going through a very emotional time. Right, he's been a dad. He loses his daughter. He's been accused of being abusive to his child. He got all this stuff going on. And a lot of times when you're going through all kind of life situations, you feel like nobody's there who understands it. You say crazy things. You lose as a platform.
Well, I don't. He did that, and it's definitely not working in his favor. If that would be the case,
they would kill you on social media, but the court said there was
he wasn't concerned about that. He actually, laughed at that. I don't think the social media memes and jokes and stuff like that bothers him, because he likes it.
That's what I'm about to say.
He said that. He likes that. So that's not okay. Every time you get this goes out or something for whatever reason.
I ain't touching it.
No, it's your phone. But I don't know. I can't hear anyway. But kudos. I'm just glad that he's not going to get in any trouble. But I thought I'd make mention to it, because we kind of thank you on that, because we just kind of been keeping up with Tyrese, but.
He's still fine.
About
he's still
Walter,
fine.
He is fine. Walter Scott, the former North Charleston police officer.
Well, this has been a great show.
Michael, what is
Walter? Oh, you talking about the
cop who was sentenced today?
Yeah,
with 20 years for the fatal shooting of Walter Scott. To be honest with you, that made me happy. That really made me happy to hear, because it's like you kind of lose faith when it comes down to the justice system. So it's kind of, I totally put that out of my
the problem that I have though is that there was no out for that one. He had to eat that. Did you see the video?
I did see the video.
He had to eat that. And
how many years did he get?
19 to 24.
Oh, I didn't get 24. Okay.
Yeah, 19 to 20. Yeah, I think that's what it said. Something like that. I don't know how you do it like that, but
based on good behavior, or I guess.
Yeah, I think minimum 19 was minimum.
Up to 19 years before eligibility for parole.
Yeah.
But he's going to be gone away for a while.
So my question is, why did it take so long for them to come up with? Why did it take so long for them to come up with this conclusion?
What? Trials?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, no.
When you have a good lawyer, they will prolong the process as long as possible, as long as they possibly can. So
you got people who committed murder in Baltimore City 3 years ago who still ain't on trial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, you also know that you get money based on bodies being in jail, so this benefits them with having people sitting in jail waiting for court dates for long.
Well, this officer was not sitting in jail.
No, he was home.
Oh, see,
that was my question. Why did it take so long for him to get prosecuted for this?
Well, this is an opinion of mine. If based on history, they don't want to lock the officer up, so they want to try to find any way possible to get this man off. I mean, they're going to take their time and meticulously go through the evidence, because if they went to jail, there was no getting out of it. I mean, that's my opinion.
You know what I find? I feel like the justice system finally worked one time for us.
No, sometimes you got to take an L because you just do. This is one where the justice system had to take an L. When you look at that video, there is no excuse for why he shot that man. None.
No reason.
Especially when he lied over the intercom and he didn't know that his partner was on the other side of the video, or somebody was on the other side of the camera.
But just like what happened to the guy in New York, they choked him out for selling cigarettes. He died. There was no reason for them to choke him out.
True.
I mean, the police have done, and don't get me wrong, I had some law enforcement friends. My brother is a former law enforcement officer. There's some great police out here. But there's some police out here who do things, who treat people like they're animals or no longer people, and they get away with it.
Because of excuses.
Yeah, but like they're unhuman. And finally, one time, and this is the one time that the Justice Department had to do what was right and say, listen,
I think this was a token given to the community.
Like, okay,
you got to lock a lot more people up than this to make this look right.
Exactly.
Oh,
This is a token given, and they're hoping that this quiet us down. Sure.
Wow. You know what it's like? It's like
my facial expression because that's sort of hit me in my throat. I agree with you.
It's like abusive husband bringing roses home to his wife.
Exactly.
That's how I see this.
But here's my question: you saying hoping that this quiet is down and all that stuff like that? I'm going to tell the truth. I totally just absentmindedly forgot about the case. I didn't see anybody protest. I'm not saying they weren't doing it in Charleston, but quiet is down. I didn't see anybody protesting. I didn't see Black Lives Matters posting justice for Walter Scott or nothing.
He was included in the collage.
Right, right. Now, I mean, I'm not saying that they weren't doing it. For him. I believe that they were. But based on the term quiet as that, like, I mean, because that's what we say. We need to be louder. We need to be speaking out. We need to not get tired in our fight. I haven't seen anything about this man via social media, you know, for that give. Wow. Let's just go ahead and just give this win to him because we got to do something. Like, I feel like it was a real quiet win. Like, it wasn't.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think Charleston, South Carolina was going to give us a win? Charleston, South Carolina
was going to give us a win?
I mean, to give the African American community a win about a police officer killing one of us. Charleston, South Carolina is still one of the most racist places to live at in the South.
Quiet as kept, Baltimore is just as racist.
I'm trying to figure out what place is any less racist than the other at this point in time.
Because there was a lot of people that was tucked away in their feelings, and now they feel comfortable being open out.
Right.
So I mean, it is what it is. I don't see this as a given win. I see this as I ain't got no other choice. So I have to, you know, it is what it is.
Clear.
It was a bunch of them that are clear that the police officers should have gotten locked up, and they got away with it. This one was given with everything that's going down in all these communities, the police shootings and politics and Donald Trump doing dumb stuff and sexual harassment all over the place. This was a given so that our minds could be taken away with it.
But nobody even remembers Walter Scott, like she said.
Well, nobody forgot. I didn't forget him.
I mean, I didn't, once you say his name, I had to go back and look at the video, but I'm just saying, because based on this history, usually you see the protests, you see the hashtags, and so forth. That's what I didn't see. So when she said, hey, we got the win, I was like, who? Like, I mean, I'm just going to tell you the truth. That was my original response, because I was totally absent-minded to who it was at the time. You mad at me?
No.
He about to get up. I'm telling you the truth.
No, I'm not.
But I'm glad that the man did get some time, you know, and if that's a win, we'll take the win. I'm quite sure that the family is overjoyed, you know, especially because 9 times out of 10 they did not believe that this was going to be their justice was going to be served in this case. So I'm happy for them. So.
Well, I knew when I saw the video in the beginning that he had to go to jail.
I didn't, because that's no different from what's the difference between him and Castile. I mean, this man is in there with a gun permit, telling you that he's about to give you his license, so you're asking for something that he has to dig out to get. That to me would seem like
because in that sense, we can't determine whether or not the officer felt threatened. Now he got scared.
He got scared of what? Threatened. Hold on. He was threatened by what? Him pulling out his gun permit?
He didn't mean to shoot that man.
Why not?
No, he didn't.
Oh my
goodness. Wait a minute.
He got scared.
He didn't mean to shoot the man that the man is seated in the car.
Yeah, he didn't mean to shoot that man.
Do you know how many safety mechanisms? Do you know how many safety mechanisms you have to just to pull your gun out the holster?
They are already prepared. When he pulled the gun, he was already scared.
Exactly. But his mind was all ready to release a round, period.
All I'm saying.
He didn't have to pull a gun.
All I'm saying.
You have to go through 3 different. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is you can't determine how somebody else feels. So if his excuse or his explanation was that he was in fear of his life, we can't prove that he wasn't. Now, in that instance with Mr. Scott was running slowly.
That's what I don't get.
So the officer could not say that he was in fear. In actuality, it looked like the officer allowed him.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Get
It
up.
looked like he told him to run.
So a person that's running away from you does not pose a threat?
No.
Do you know I can fire my weapon while my back is turned to you and still hit you accurately? While I'm running from you? If I had a weapon? We don't know this guy before he fired around. You don't know if this was a trained recon marine or whatever.
If that was the case, he would have been shot already.
That's not true.
But he was right up on him when he took off.
That's my point. Who was the most what's the best way? Who was the most threat? The one who's sitting in a car reaching for what you requested, or the one running away from you?
The one in the car.
Not at all. The one that's still able to move freely. He could be running from it and going this dip, turn around and fire off a round. The one in the car is more, he's more restrictive.
But the accuracy of the shot from far away running.
You can't say that. I know some guys who can shoot real good running.
You talking about military?
No, I'm not talking about military.
You talking about the guy in East Baltimore.
I'm talking about normal Joe Blows can shoot good.
I will never understand how somebody sitting in a car poses a threat to you when you ask them to. Now I can see if you are aware that he has a gun. And you don't ask him, you're asking him to keep his hands on the steering wheel, and he's still reaching, yes. But to say, give me your license and registration, or give me your gun permit, or whatever it is, give me a piece of gum, whatever, and you reach for it, and I shoot you because I'm afraid, because
I'm not saying he was justified. I'm saying that he could have been afraid. Wait, first of all, we already know.
He should have walked back to his car.
I'll wait.
Hold on. I'm going to wait for back up. You got a gun?
You just stay right here. I'm wait.
Right.
And the guy said, I have a gun. I have my gun permit. He told him. So it wasn't the thing that I'm going to shoot you. I'm telling you this is what I have on me because you're required to say if an officer pull you over and you got a gun permit, they tell you, hey, I got a gun on me. I'll put my weapon down. I've seen officers do it, and I went through the gun permit class. You put your weapon down. You walk away from here. When you step away from the weapon, they grab the weapon. You give them your gun permit. Very simple. So everybody's clean.
But
that's what the guy was doing
in the car. In the car, he did not have the opportunity to pull the gun out. Did he?
No.
He said that he had a gun. The officer didn't see the gun, doesn't know where the gun is.
That's my point.
He just said, I have a gun. Now, we have conversations with people where we misinterpret their meaning in what they say because
so
we
you think
hear,
he heard, all right, I got a gun.
We want
That's
to
what
hear.
you think he heard? I'm about to shoot you.
No,
I got a gun.
No.
I mean, that's what I mean.
I'm about to bust a cap
his
on
interpretation.
you because I got this gun.
If you don't back away from my car.
He got a gun.
I don't know any black man who's going to tell the police, I got a gun in the car.
You bad.
And you go back up.
Apparently,
you got a gun, and I got a gun.
Right. So
apparently, we do because we just buried one.
Yeah.
He's telling the officer that because that's a requirement because he has a gun permit. But the other part about it is, let me tell you something. It's an innate fear that black men get when you hear that whoop whoop behind you.
True.
It's an innate fear that you get, and so that if that fear rises up in you, and he coming out, hey officer, listen, you pulled. He wasn't even driving, so the officer he didn't even have to talk to the officer. This girlfriend was just the fiance was driving the car. She got the one got pulled over. He did it as a courtesy. Hey, I know you're giving her a ticket, but I want you to know this is what the situation is. Right. The officer took it upon himself to go around to the side of the vehicle and do that. So how all this fear come into play when this man, when you pulled over the car for a reason for the woman who was driving, the man ain't had nothing to do with the reason why you pulled him over, and you still shot him.
The officer never addressed him, right? The officer was addressing the woman, giving her a ticket. So the fact that I'm going to volunteer and let you know I got a gun. We don't know what that little boy been through before he got to before he got to his officer status.
I
so we have to understand that we can't say that he didn't fear for his life.
But you're trained to serve and protect.
Can I say this on that part? you also got to understand the stress level that he might have been under.
Right,
too.
the officer.
Yeah, the officer, because you look at any officer, they go from call to call to call without detoxing at all. You go from a traffic violation to a domestic violation, from a domestic violation to a child abuse violation, and then you going back to a traffic violation. All of this is going on. Your adrenaline is at high. You don't know what you're about to approach. I agree with him. But in that instant, he should have called for backup.
He should have.
He should have called for backup. It was an unnecessary release of a round.
If you scared.
Exactly.
How many times do we say stuff? I do this all the time. Say stuff and forgot you just said it.
That is totally different when you got a gun in your hand and you're about to kill somebody based on, you know.
I'm saying.
How does it apply?
I'm saying we say stuff. Forget we said it, and then argue. I do it all the time. Argue you down that I didn't just say that, but I just said it. We don't know. He told him to get the stuff, but he could have that quickly. Because, like you said, all that stress, he could have that quickly forgot.
Been there, done that.
Oh, dang, I did just tell him to go get. Did you hear what he said after he shot him?
What? I'm sorry?
After he shot the guy, he was like, oh, like he didn't meet. It was not his intention. That wasn't his intention when he stepped there.
Well, why was it? Okay. That might be accurate. Let me ask you a question. You're a former cop. Why was the gun drawn?
That was another reason. That was another
it
question.
All the time.
At what point do you walk up to a guy that's offering you all their information? Do you pull your weapon out on him?
I was in a car, parked, eating Popeye's chicken, and the car I was in was surrounded by officers with guns drawn.
There's a difference between them getting a call of a threat and then you pulling a person over and now you're thinking there's a threat. Because as soon as you think this is going to get out of hand, that means you need backup immediately. He's not defusing the situation. The situation is not fused at all. He just drew his weapon, went through 3 different safeties to get it out. 3 different safeties. You have to tilt, turn, and unlatch to get this weapon. Your brain is telling you to do all this just to get your weapon. Something is telling you that this needs to stop here, and I need backup. But it didn't happen that way.
It didn't happen.
So what really happened? He got into his fear and emotion. Both of them kicked in, and he went into fight or flight. Which neither one of them needed to be. Neither one of them was necessary at that point. But because he was already engaged, it's hard to disengage from that.
And because he was in a position. What you say?
Take your preacher voice off.
And because
take your preacher voice off.
In the book of Lamentations.
Take your preacher voice off. Be regular, right?
Okay. So because
oh my goodness,
but because he was in that mode, he then validated, even though he was wrong
in his own mind.
In his mind,
okay,
but not just in his mind. In accordance to their rules and the laws, apparently, because he got off, because he felt like there was a threat.
Because it was a justifiable fear for him that it made.
Why did he get off? Let's be honest. Why did he get off?
Because he was a black man.
About to say
but the argument is because this ain't necessarily the topic.
I'm sorry.
The argument for what you're saying, both of you are saying, is that he made a decision out of fear, right or wrong. He made a decision out of fear, which made his shooting justifiable for him because he honestly felt like he was in fear for his life, even though he may or may not have been. He felt like.
No. I don't even think that I swear to goodness, I do not believe that he meant to shoot that boy. I keep saying boy, that man.
That grown man.
Exactly. Well, I called the officer boy too, so it's equal. They ain't got nothing to do with black and white or whatever. And he wasn't even white guy.
Black and white, because that if a white person got shot, it'd be a whole different
No, I'm talking about me saying boy.
Okay.
But I don't feel like I really don't believe he intended to shoot him. But that speaks a lot about how we have stuff going in the back of our minds that we don't even realize. Insecurities, fears, threats, stereotypes that we have on in the back of our minds that isn't in the forefront, and we're responding to stuff that we don't even know is going on subconsciously.
I can honestly agree with that because once you go into that fight or flight mode, you create a picture or a scene in your head that doesn't really exist if you're not sound. if your mind is not sound. So you're out there, you pull over somebody, you're going through all kinds of scenarios how this can go wrong even before you take your hand and touch the back of that car.
They have a gun.
Now I know he have a gun, and I have to secure a situation that really did not need to be secure.
And because of all of this psychological stuff that's going on in the back end, this is why it becomes justified in the law.
Mike McMillan. Well, we were talking about the what's his name? Walter Scott killing. The officer that was on trial for shooting Walter Scott was convicted today, and he was sentenced to between 19 and 24 years for that killing, which led us to the conversation about Castile and how, you know, situations like this, it's very few and far between that we actually get a win like that. And we kind of went into the topic of we talked about what's the guy name that said I can't breathe?
Eric Gardner,
stuff like that. So we talking about instances where we did not get a win, and just we were on. Okay, you got it. We were on Castile. But at the end of the day, Lisha was saying that she felt as though the man you said didn't intend to shoot Castile.
I don't believe that he did it, but I don't believe that he intended. But what I was saying was that the reason that he got off versus this officer is because he had a proven legitimate fear of what would I say?
Fear of his life.
No, he feared for his life in his perspective, which is justifiable.
So, but then you can't say he did not intend to shoot. Because
no,
he did
that's
intend
my
to
personal
shoot.
Opinion.
He did intend to shoot.
That's my personal opinion.
We got 1 minute. When we come back from the commercial break, those who are watching the show surely appreciate you watching. Could you share this so the others can take a picture? I forgot what I was going to say. Take part in the conversation. Or you can call in at 410-702-5657. When we come back from commercial break, stay tuned.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
This is the reality of the world that we're living in. A lot of young people don't have the information that is necessary to have healthy lives. And a lot of the organizations that are geared towards young people don't have individuals that are going to be as honest as this gentleman.
One of the issues that I have with this quote-unquote Christian nation that we live in is
it's
that
not just the Christians,
being... Religion allows you to live in denial, but the world does not live in denial. So who are you helping with your... All right, I'm going to stop. I'm about to do something.
The reason I shrink that or take that away because it's people who are not religious. It's people who they're not giving their young people, or they don't have a person that could be that honest with them. I mean, we all have that. I know I had a mother like that.
There are
rather than
and it's just and it's been recently because I've recently had more interaction with teen mothers than I have in my whole life. I wasn't my mother wasn't a teen mother. Her mother was. She made sure none of her daughters were. So it was, you know, in as I get older and working in certain areas, you tend to run into that. And one of the things that blows my mind is how often a teen mom does not talk to their child at all, period, much less their daughter that they had at 15 to say, these are the realities of sex. These are the realities of the choices that you can or cannot make. These are the realities. Like, how do you not... After going through it yourself, knowing the stress, the looks, how do you then turn and look at someone else and say, all right, good luck? I mean, this is your offspring. I'm sorry. I just get very emotional about that. It bothers me that there are a great deal of...
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
No, you.
That's what I thought.
Okay. Okay. We're back. Before the commercial break, we was talking about Castile, but what time is it? Okay, I want to get into. I'm not sure if y'all saw it or not. The former Oklahoma State Senator Ralph Shorty. Did you see that?
The one that resigned?
No, that's a different one.
Right, that's a different one. Ralph Shorty, the former Oklahoma State Senator, pled guilty to felony child sex trafficking.
Yes.
Wow.
After the police found him in a hotel room with a 17-year-old boy.
Whoa.
With weed and condoms. He he planned to pay the boy for sex after hooking up with the boy on Craigslist. Listen, that ain't it. And that I need y'all, now that we got the pastor and the bishop here. He was wearing a t-shirt. Listen, he was wearing a t-shirt. The top of the t-shirt said Ephesians 5:22.
T-shirt.
The husband. The former state senator, Ralph Shorty, had a t-shirt on. The top of the t-shirt, it said Ephesians 5:22. And that says, wives, submit yourselves unto your husband as unto the Lord. And at the bottom of it, it said, now go make me a sandwich. And there was a picture of the sandwich on it. Found in the hotel room.
Who started smacking? You too?
With the boy.
What?
Oh, I thought he was chewing.
The gagger is that this senator is known for petitioning anything that came across the floor for the LGBT community. Just against it. Just flat out against it. And that's his proclivity. Usually, you know how that goes.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. Usually, when people obsess about something, it's because they have an internal function going on that they can't fight on their own internally. So I'm going to fight it externally in hopes that maybe demonizing it will make it unattractive to me.
Well,
so
it ain't work for him. And the gag is the police, there's a whole clip. And when the police got to the hotel, they didn't know that it was the senator. They didn't know. They got to the hotel, and the police just knew that there was a man with an underage boy, and that there was, some sort of prostitution situation going on. So they kept talking. They were very, I'm just gonna say rude. I don't think they were just being very smart. If you would have thought that the police knew that it was a senator, how just a little, short he was being with the guy, like he was trying to irritate him. Kept saying, "Oh, your name's Shorty. You look kind of tall to be a shorty," like making little jokes and stuff. You would have thought that they knew it was him and was trying to hold him there, I guess, until somebody came. At the end of the day, they did not. They never knew it was him. The guy did give him his name. He gave him his information. He said, "We're not really concerned about the weed. We're concerned about the fact you have this underage boy in here." He pled guilty, and he is now.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it alone as best as I possibly can. You can only breed from who you come from. And I'll say that when you're president of the United States, has no problem having sexual issues, touching it and feeling it, and openly can say whatever he wants. You cannot be surprised when his whole cabinet, delegates, or whatever you want that's leading this country have the same issue. If you're not gonna sit him down, you might as well leave his kids alone.
Well, see, here's the.
But here it is. Hold on, here it is. All of this it's pushed to the back line when you deal with senators and governors and the lower levels, so you won't have to deal with the head. So all this mainstream stuff that's going on with the senators is so we won't deal with our president, who's dealing with the same thing in the White House.
Or with all of this sexual harassment stuff, it's not just the senators or this about Republican versus them. All of this to me is a distraction. I mean, it's
what's going on in the White House?
Well,
What's going?
There was a tax break just signed off on that offered a tremendous tax break to the wealthy. Tremendous. But we busy talking about sexual harassment. So
good distraction, huh?
But what I want to say is, this is not new stuff.
No,
because this is a
not
former
at all.
senator.
Right. Well, he's a former senator now. I don't know if he was. I think he stepped down
I mean, he
because
wasn't
of this.
new. He didn't just become
no,
a senator.
he was actively
Right.
because he was known for shutting down anything that had anything about the LGBT community. He was just a big hypocrite. That's what it boils down to.
So, I mean, but all of this stuff this has been ongoing. It's just starting to come to light because of who our president is. And even though we don't want to prosecute, well, I'm not even going to say that. Even though they haven't figured out how.
To impeach him?
They know how.
They know how. They're not going to do it.
They don't want to impeach him. Right. No, they shut that down.
All the time.
They shut that down. They had it on the floor. They shut that down quickly.
They've been on the floor 3 times.
Because he's easily to control.
Yeah.
You can manipulate him and control him with a little words, women, and a little extra money, and they can go behind the doors and make all the bills that they want, pass all the laws, and start all the wars they want while he's sitting up here tweeting like Tweety Bird.
I still don't. Oh, okay.
He called him
Tweety Bird. we gotta take another commercial break. When we come back, please tell me that y'all saw the lady who was at the press conference doing the hands. And she was not.
She was sign language.
A sign language. Thank you. I couldn't think. And she was
Another
one. Well,
Look
yes.
at her.
What you
When
said
we
about
come back,
right?
She was praising.
When we come back,
Blessing the Lord, the Spirit was on.
When we come back, please, we got to get into her, and then we're gonna move. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. This lady is like.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement. Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that. Cool! That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. You are tuned in to BeExposedRadio.com.
So we were talking about critical thinking. So we definitely believe that critical thinking is one of the first things we need to start implementing, not just simply being told things. Or how about this? You know, we tend to listen to people who get assigned certain positions.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So when they have certain positions, we tend to think that it's truth attached to that because of their position, right? Is that always the case, though?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It's probably one of the biggest reasons we should be doing some critical thinking.
Yes, I agree. I definitely.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Thank you very much.
Because they had nothing else to do.
So it was like, imagine that your late husband was actually your father. I can't imagine that because that's disgusting.
Very much so.
And then I would have to clean my basement because that's where my actual father resides right now. So, okay. The 60-year-old woman learned the truth about her husband, Percy, 6 years after he passed away.
Not Percy, though. Percy doesn't sound like that name.
Percy just sounds like a feminine boy.
Really?
Yeah.
But nobody told you
don't think
at
it?
no point.
Like Percy. Look at Percy over there with his purse.
His name Percy.
Percy always switching.
And you just keep laughing at him.
That's a joke. What do you call it? What's the gay boy's name?
Percy.
Percy.
What are you doing, Percy? I don't even know what to say about this one. And I'm the one that said it. Oh my gosh, we're here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. The conversations can get deep. They can get out of this world. But we do them. BeExposedRadio.com. Talk Lately, the radio.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
How y'all doing? It's Love Dawn. We back to Sunset.
The Sunset Show. Please download my new single on iTunes.
Yes, y'all. That wonderful song that you just heard playing is "Smile" by Love Dawn. It's available on iTunes.
Smile.
CD be available couple months.
Even though it hurts,
keep a lookout. Before the commercial break, we were talking about. Let me just read. During a press conference announcing an arrest in the Tampa serial killings, Daryl Roberts, is her name? Darlin Roberts has a string of arrests for fraud. Tampa Police Public Information Officer Steve Haggerty said he just didn't ask enough questions. Long hours working on the case, and they finally had information to give to the public that he didn't call for an interpreter, but she just showed up, and he thought that, hey, great, and he let her come and do the sign language for the press conference. 3 months ago, though, the same thing happened, still in Florida, at another conference, hurricane briefing conference. There was another interpreter that came and spoke gibberish, and now this lady, Darlin Roberts, who is and was convicted for fraud. Now, here's my thing. For what? Like, you are a criminal going to a police conference that's beyond fraud now. Like, there was no checks cut. They didn't pay her. No. She showed up.
My turn.
She walked in and said, hey, I'm here to do sign language. And they let this lady go on national TV and wave her head around, praise dance,
and my ministry in church.
Like, ma'am, do you realize how many people can't hear?
At what point?
And looking like, what? AB 3912 in the front basement of the
flag, pause.
That was her running? I'm like, ma'am.
Man was walking across the field.
Man was walking across the threshold of the 3917 in the block of
4, 5, 6.
Here's the story. The lady who's shot over the victim, the mother the mother of the victim, is a sign language teacher.
The one who died?
Yeah, the one who died is a sign language teacher. And so she went to the police officer afterwards and was like, that ain't sign language.
Right. But that ain't sign language. It's not even words. Right. It's gibberish. My thing is, I'm trying to figure out
how insulting is that? Like,
she don't need to go to jail.
Somebody should go to jail for real. The
She
chief,
needs to go to a psychiatric
the sergeant,
facility.
whoever let her in there should be going to jail.
This man
He
said
said they do that due diligence.
the man said
He said he
it was
was tired.
long work hours.
Right.
Long work hours. They finally had information to give to the people. He was excited about giving the people the information. He just didn't ask enough questions. Like, can you actually can you actually sign?
Come here.
Great.
Come here. Come on over here.
Poor little thing. Like, she came up. What? But for real, like, I'm trying to think. Like, why? Outside of it being a mental health issue, is there any reason why she would do that?
Wait,
Showtime.
Mike, nobody hired her.
She came on
appeared.
her own.
On her own accord.
On her own accord. She listen. This is what happened, Mike. She knocked on the door and said, "Hi, I'm here to offer my services and do sign language for you as you give the people the information." He in turn said, "Great. I didn't call for anybody to come and do it. I know I am the police public information officer."
Exactly. I'm the one to give the information.
My job is to call
accurate information.
But thanks, come on air, not just in the office room, and you interpret for me. But you're sure?
Because he ain't no sign
Come on
language.
air. Right, and then he didn't know.
He ain't no sign language.
Listen, Mike, it's on the Sunset Soul page. Look at the clip.
Excuse me.
You found it?
They have started a fake interpreter challenge.
Oh, wow.
Sign me up.
I'm on it.
Where's the camera?
Millie rocking.
Yeah. Round the world.
Sign me up. I'm ready to do it.
I'm
right
sorry.
now. I'm
Thank
ready
you.
to do
She
it.
off. She's definitely.
She was like,
No, she ain't off. The police officer's off for letting this happen.
Hey, somebody off.
Somebody should suspend this dude.
That victim's mother was looking at her like, I can't even believe this, boy. They can't how to do this.
I don't know if she. I don't know. You said it was so she didn't go to jail.
No, they said it's not a crime. It's an ethical violation.
So what happens in an ethical violation?
Nothing. What do you want to do?
She gonna sign her way out of
What's
it.
the difference in what she did?
Mike, I said he's gonna take the challenge. Please go live. Can you please?
It's a reality TV show.
Mike, do
yes,
it.
Mike, can you
I
do
wanna
it
do
and
it.
please post it to the Sunset Soul?
Denise, if you're watching, I want to do it.
Please.
Yes.
The what's it called again?
Millie Rock on any.
It's the sign language challenge.
Interpreter challenge.
Interpreter challenge.
We're gonna do it.
What a blessing from the Lord.
We're gonna do it. I'm gonna do
Bless the Lord.
my
In all things, give thanks.
my interpreter.
Wow.
The will of God, Christ.
My interpreter praise report. Watch. That's what I'm gonna do.
Thank
You
you,
gonna
Mike.
look, watch.
Well, I'm gonna interpret everything you say from this on.
I see you tomorrow nighttime.
Whoa.
Okay.
I quit.
All right. Okay. First of all, let me go back. I
just got a question. Anybody watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I love that show.
I never
Yeah,
watched
did
it
you?
yet.
You have to
that?
watch Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That's what the writer for Seinfeld.
Oh,
Is it good?
He had to interpret. He had to. I saw the episode with the interpreter on it. All I kept thinking about was, what's his name? Larry David saying, "I got better signs for y'all sign language because y'all signs don't make no sense."
Well,
He said you should be universal. He was like, "Dogs should be like this."
do you have, Nicole? Do you have the clip? Are you able to play the clip? Okay. So while she's getting the clip, we posted a video. I'm sorry, I'm still working on that piece. We posted a video. No. Oh my goodness! Now I can't think of his name. Y'all got me. You're laughing. Let me just pull it up. What is Dr. Umar? Dr. Umar, did you remember the clip that I sent to you about him feeling as though black men should only? He said our sound is in and out. Can you hear us now, Mr. William? That's your uncle, right? Mr. Scott? Can you hear us now?
We might have all been talking at the same time.
Could have been. That's what it was. He posted a video about black men and how he feels as though black men should only be with a black woman.
Okay.
Of course, that's right.
Okay, I know.
And he was on the Breakfast Club, and I forgot. I don't know all the people's names on
Charlemagne.
But it wasn't Charlemagne. It was the light skin.
Okay.
What's his name?
Angelique, Charlemagne.
The other guy.
I didn't know. We all the breakfast. I'm trying to remember their names.
DJ Envy.
DJ Envy, Charlemagne, and yeah.
Envy. So he was saying that they live in a certain neighborhood. His family lives in a certain neighborhood, and it is a predominantly white neighborhood. And as well as the school that his son goes to is basically a predominantly white school. And he was saying, how can he, being as though that he has his son in this area because it's safer, how can he in turn stop his son from meeting and maybe liking or falling in love with someone of the opposite sex? Now,
opposite race.
Opposite race.
Not opposite, because there's no opposite.
Okay.
It's just another.
Here we go. Got to be politically correct. Another race. But his thing was, and listen, y'all know I love Dr. Umar. I really do. And I'm not completely against what he's saying because he validated his position by saying we are the only race that has such an issue with pushing our own to be together. He was saying how, you know, the Jewish people, they mandate if you're going to be with someone of the same faith, so forth and so forth, and other races and so forth. And he, you know, pointed out, and we're the race that always, and you know, I have a thing about that. Like, we always compromising. We're the race. It's so easy for us to allow other people to,
because we don't love ourselves. Like, and collectively, we don't take pride in African American culture, our race, our skin, our history. A lot of us, and I'm not saying me personally or anybody at the table, but collectively, we've lost a sense of pride in our heritage. If you have it, then you want to fortify that into your children, and you want to instill it into them so that they can carry that forth. If you see an Asian young lady dating outside of her race, it's going to take a lot to get her to bring them home to her father, because her father's going to have a cow. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
But in African American race, when Lil Ray started dating Becky down the street, everybody thinking about how pretty their baby's gonna be.
Becky automatically, and I ain't saying to be funny, Becky automatically got good hair. And that irritates me. Like, why is it anytime we reference another race, it's always better?
Well, we're getting better.
We're getting better, but I'm saying, like you said, we're using. If that's the case, I can't get upset with you for wanting what in your mind you think is better. We're putting it out there. Like, this is the prize. This is the doll baby. You know, in comparison to.
So can I ask this question? So I understand Dr. Umar's theory about marrying inside your race. But what happens, is it wrong to fall in love with somebody of a different color skin?
He's not, he didn't say, well,
I'm asking.
His thing was, it's not as if it's drawn to fall in love, because you don't fall in love with somebody you meet today. You know, his thing is, you shouldn't even entertain another race to allow yourself to get to the place to fall in love.
And see, that's difficult.
That's right. And then, first of all, if you can, I think I can speak for all men. Men are attracted to all different women, shapes, sizes, colors. You can be dark skinned, you can be attractive. You can be white, you can be attractive. You can be Latino, you can be attractive.
Not to everybody. You may find attraction in variety. There are some people that despise certain stuff. It just turns them off.
I was talking about from the male perspective.
That's what I'm talking about.
So you saying that men are attracted to all kind of women?
I know men.
But you ain't no man. So at the end of the day, you really can't talk from the male perspective because you ain't a guy. But
so what I'm saying is you can't talk from a general perspective because you're not all men.
I'm not saying I'm not all men, but you can't talk about from a male perspective because you ain't no man.
Take the belt.
Right.
Take the belt.
Right, but
I'm a mime for you.
Right. Just the reason why I'm saying that is because I have a cousin who, God bless him to go to private school. He didn't go to school in the city. He's African American. He understands his heritage. He went to college. He met a young lady who's of a different culture, a different complexion, and he's adamantly in love with her. They live together. They're doing their thing. They're building their life together, and I can't see the wrong in that when I see the happiness in him and the happiness in her. So who am I to judge somebody about what makes them happy? That's what I'm saying. Who are we to judge people about what they should and should not date? When people can judge us what we should and should not date, but it makes us happy in who we are.
This is just his perspective.
I'm just asking the question.
You have to understand an individual to see where their perspective is coming from. Then you'll understand why they have that perspective. It doesn't make it right or wrong. That's just his opinion.
Right.
And
I'm just giving my opinion.
And while y'all are talking, I just want to ask the viewers, those who are watching, do you think that it is okay for a black man or woman to date or marry outside of his or her race?
Yep.
Well, Mr. William Berlin said that Dr. Umar is full of shit.
Thank you, Uncle Jay. Thank you, Uncle Jay, because I think he's full of crap too. And that's the boy's father. That's the young man's father I'm talking about.
I'm not saying that he's right. I'm just saying he's entitled to his opinion.
That's
and in
opinion.
every other culture, it's okay and acceptable for them to take pride in their culture, their history, their race, and to try to fortify that in their children so they can maintain their line. So, if we continue to do things the way that we're doing it, we will not have an African American race anymore. Everybody will be biracial.
Okay, we're gonna wait a minute. We're gonna finish it when we come back from commercial break. We're still reading your comments. Thank you so much. Let us know. We'll still read when we come back. Is it okay for a African American male or female to date outside of their race? We're still reading. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. I'm gonna fight this.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
You have to say alleged anywhere in here.
This is the wrong song to play in this topic.
They're saying 4 years ago, according to a $20 million lawsuit, the plaintiff, who was also not named, met Charlie Sheen in Las Vegas on April the 1st, 2011. The sleaze suit claimed that Sheen entered into a nefarious plot designed to lure plaintiffs into a luxurious hotel room to serve his prurient desires. Sensationally, it was alleged that Sheen... Say what?
I said perverted.
No, it's prurient.
Let me see. Can I where's the point to the word? Right. Prurient.
It's hard. It makes me want to gag. Like cock. Get it? Sensationally, it was alleged Sheen told the man he had no venereal diseases. At that point, they watched the porn and engaged in mutual oral compilation, mutual self-gratification, rubbing and massaging each other, play wrestling, licking, and unprotected intercourse. So, look, my question to my three people here at my panel, are they trying to say, because that's when they said he got this disease 4 years ago, or virus, HIV, 4 years ago. Are they trying to say that he got it from gay sex? Probably.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. That's what it's saying.
Consensus of the room is
not all the female prostitutes that he was doing. It was the guy.
Just they interjected this one guy in there.
You know what that is? That's Sheen having a very good publicist.
Yeah, that is. Partly, but partly this is the guy.
That's the best story you could go out with.
Yeah, right. This is the story that made the rest of these stories explode, basically.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on Be Exposed Radio.
To BeExposedRadio.com.
Not what's going to happen.
That's exactly.
Do y'all think that we're about to go to war with North Korea?
We're going to get tracked down, huh?
Do you think North Korea is going to bomb us? Is it going to be like a nuclear?
Probably.
No. Probably.
We lost all our allies. Yep. All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Now, is that because of Trump or is that something Obama
because
did?
of Trump.
He purposely lost them. He said it too. He doesn't want to.
All the people that don't like us now, there are nice pictures of Obama meeting with them.
She said, also look at his past campaign. Most of his endorsements were from the Klan. Y'all about to assassinate me. My phone, my hair keeps getting tangled up in this thing. But I have read this plenty of different times that the Klan, oh my God, y'all about to yell at me so bad. But just tell me if I'm wrong or right. Did they or did they not endorse Obama also?
No, they did not.
Was that a rumor that I heard?
Yes, it was.
I swear in my life I have heard that the Klan has endorsed Obama. I'm dead serious, yo. Like,
You
please
gotta be careful leaving.
Can somebody
out of here.
Google that for me? I'm dead serious. Like, I read somewhere. I think it was like when he ran back in
you want to meet his parents? These are his parents.
Says who?
Crystal Renee Radio Show.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're back. Before the commercial break, we were talking about Dr. Umar's position on am I still talking? Can I still talk? Oh, okay. Dr. Umar's position on interracial dating or marriage. He feels as though that a black man or black woman should only be in a relationship with another black man or woman and not any other races. And that, what our position was, some people said yes and no. What was it? Did you say yes? You didn't answer at all. If we should or should not. Before you answer though, let me read some of the comments because I said I was going to do it when we come back. Mr. Mike McMillan said it depends on that man or that woman. Rachel said, of course, it's okay for a black man to date outside of, or woman to date outside of their race or marry. He said, Mr. Mike, we've been doing that for centuries. That is why we are all here, interracial dating. Let me see, anybody else? Rachel said, love shouldn't have a color. No matter race, religion, background, or whatever. Who are we to judge? It's not our business, and I think it could be a beautiful thing. Let me tell you something.
William Bella, can you please comment, please, William Bella? You're watching.
I agree with him.
Dr. Umar?
I do agree. Because if you think about it, all the other races, they disown their children for messing with our race or other races. It's not necessarily saying that you can't love who you want to love. It's basically saying that we have to love each other first before we can give our love to anybody else. We have to feed that back into each other.
So what if people have tried the dating your race and dating your race hasn't worked out for you, and so you try something else? Let me finish what I'm saying before you just because you're being rude. I don't want you jumping back. I'm talking. So what if you tried dating your race for years and it didn't work out for you dating your race, and you dated somebody outside of your race culture and it was everything you desired to have? Is that unfair for that person not to be happy?
That's the trick of the enemy.
That's the
trick of the enemy.
That's the trick of the enemy. That ain't the trick of the enemy. That's
I have a question. Stop sign language in for a second. Is what you saying that the success came from coming outside of your race?
Nope. I said in the relationship. I said, what if you've been dating? Y'all talked about our engineer talked about dating in your race, just saying your race, and before you go outside your race, you should try your race. Okay, so what happens when you dated in your race and then work out for it? And it's not because of the color of their skin; it's the content of that character. And you date somebody else outside their race, and and you fall in love with the person because we're so hypocritical to suggest that somebody of a different color can't be the one that God had designed for you. When did we get so big that we could conquer? We could tell somebody who to love, why they love them, and what they should look at to love them.
What is that about being big?
When did we become the deciding factor on love?
Based on what you just said.
Go ahead. Let's talk about it.
The only thing that I can say I have an issue with what you said is when people say, when this don't work, then I went outside of, because that's no different for me. Like I don't like the cop out. I don't like the I tried, so now we got a caller. Okay, go ahead. Caller.
Hello.
Yep. How you doing?
Hello. Am I on?
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for calling.
So, when you're dating or you marry outside your race, so what happens when the race war kicks off? Do you expect them to side with you, or do you expect them to side with their people?
Absolutely. First of all, can I have your name?
Raul.
Right. How you doing? Thank you for calling in, Mr. Raul. That is a very good point.
Exactly.
That is a very good point. So what say you? The race will kick off. You in a relationship outside of your marriage. He or she has to make a decision.
You start sitting down eating
if it's a decision of race, I don't decide race. I decide love. If I'm married, if my wife was a different race, regardless, I'm married to a beautiful African American woman. But if my wife was a different race, I'm not siding with a color. I'm siding with the love of my life. That's the one I'm committed to. I'm not committed to saying, oh, because the black folk struggle was this. She can't understand that.
She can't.
That's not just really true.
Okay, so then what happens when it comes down? Her and her daddy come in, and it's like, her daddy's like, oh, who you gonna choose? And she say, kill him, Dad.
That sounds like a movie.
That's real good. Let me write it down. You know,
And then the other part, the other part to that is, and it happened, I guess, not too long ago with the former football player Albert Hainsworth, who married this white woman, and she got upset with him to the point where she called him a bunch of niggers, not nigger, but niggers.
Yeah.
So then what?
Like I said earlier, it's a lot of
because
stuff
it's
going on.
in you. That racism, Jane Elliott talks about it all the time. It is in you. No matter how much you try to, you think it won't surface. It's embedded. It's taught. It's taught in the schools. Thank you so much for calling in, Mr. Raul.
Thank you.
Now that sounds like the movie that we just talked about, or that just came on with the cereal and the milk and the white girl.
Oh, Get Out.
Yep.
Is Mr. Raul
that's,
on the line?
that's what she gonna do.
Right. And in a situation like that, she said, you were one of my favorites. That's what she said. She liked him, probably, but she killed him, is attempting to kill him. For me, I think, just like y'all gave the out to the man who killed Castile, I didn't mean to do it, but I was scared. That ain't gonna be no different with your white wife when the people out there with the sheets on, like, because you our kind, I'm gonna give you one more chance. If you come out here with us, put the sheet on, or we gonna or you die with him. I'm not saying that she don't love you. I'm saying the likelihood. I'm not saying, because it's different. You talking about fear. You just said fight or flight. You don't know what you gonna do when you place in a situation that you can.
So I'm totally lost.
My question is too: what race war?
When
is this going to happen?
Well, technically,
I'm nervous.
He's not talking about a massive.
I thought this was 2017, 1960.
Which leads us, we didn't even get into Libya, and that's the first thing that everybody keeps saying. I thought this was 2017. What does that have to do?
Well, if that's the case, we've been
in a race war.
We are in a race war today.
I'm about to say we've been in it for the longest
time.
Right.
Please explain.
That was my question. What race war are they talking about? Because we've been in it for the longest time.
Right. It's not like we don't have a race war going on. It just wasn't always identified or necessarily talked about or considered as a war, but that's what it always has been. Excuse me?
I'm sorry. Keep talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't you guys just roll up on me like that?
Wait a minute, Mr. Scott, what question? You said, can we answer his question? As far as the race war? Is that what you mean? Because that's what we're talking about.
So is it like a war on crime? Our race war is like a war on crime?
No, the race is just racism.
Well, that's racism. That's racism, but I mean we're in a race war. No, but there's a lot of white folk who like black people. There's a lot of black folk who like white people. There's a lot of racism is something that's taught.
Let me tell you something.
Racism is something that's taught.
When we're talking about this whole interested.
And they make it a point to teach their children to hate us.
So the question is,
who is they?
Issue for us to, white people.
Outside of anything outside of
race. But yes, they make it a point to make sure that their people hate us, or they know that they're better than us. So then why is it such an issue when we have to take up and love each other and teach each other to love ourselves? Because they teach us or teach everyone else that we are below everybody.
So I don't think that's I can't put that as the whole culture of Caucasians teach their children that. I can't agree to that. That's number one. Sure. Number two, what I disagree with, because I'm not in a love relationship, but I'm in a work relationship, that I am the only African American person in my office, and I have the second highest ranking position in the office, and I was hired by a Caucasian interview panel. So I can't say I can't say that that's the case. When you meet somebody in the work relationship or a love relationship, and they're qualified and they're what you need or they're what you want, it's not about the color of their skin, it's about who they are.
Well, and
too often times, let me finish what I'm saying. So I'm pro-black. I support black businesses. I support black schools. I'm buying meals from black restaurants. I'm pro-black. But what I'm not pro is I'm not going to tell somebody you can't love somebody, or it's wrong for you to love somebody who don't look like you when they meet what you need and said you got to go find it somewhere else. And that person, that's not fair.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear. Okay.
That's your position.
Right.
And just like we respect your position, we have to start respecting other people's position.
I mean, there's one thing about that, respecting other people's position.
But let me be clear. First of all, Mr. Scott, as far as the football player, that was in reference to Mr. Julio saying that the wife was hurling racial slurs at him after they, I guess, got into some sort of argument or divorce or whatever they were going through. And that wasn't necessarily a question. He said, what do you do in that situation? In that situation, it just showed who she was. Period. Right. That is why we said it's in you. That wasn't necessarily a question. He was using that for an example, going with the race war point that he was making. But as far as Dr. Umar, the issue at hand was about your family. He was talking about building and having a structure for your family. The guy, the DJ on the show said, how can I tell my son not to be in a relationship with a white woman, and I put him in an environment that was predominantly white. Dr. Umar in turn says that's your job to teach your children to build and strengthen his own community, his own kind. Find somebody that can identify with him, and that we don't do that anymore as a race. We don't encourage our children to develop and build and groom our own and look at your own. Our women are just as beautiful. And the media does such an awesome job at talking about, like I said, Becky with the good hair, talking about how wonderful, products are geared toward other races, music, outfits, whatever is geared towards other races. We don't really have that. We're trying to develop. We're trying to get our black boys to look at our black girls with the same love and admiration and respect. And that's what's not happening. So I don't disagree with him saying, yes, as a parent, yes, I think you should say, you should say, no, I want you with an African American sister or man. I don't say that you have to be with, I'm not saying if you can't bring a white girl in my house. I'm not saying that.
But that's what I heard. But why not? When other races are saying that.
And that's what he said other races are saying.
Why not? What's wrong with us saying that and doing that when other races, Asians kill their children if they marry, date, or have sexual relations with other races?
So what you're saying is that we should do that. What's wrong with us not doing that?
No, I'm not
saying. That's the question. What's wrong with us not doing that? Is there something wrong with us not teaching or promoting that?
Yes, there is something wrong with it. Because then in turn we perpetuate the system whereas though we stay below every other race.
We only stay below every other race because our minds tell us. Do you know do you know most races are afraid of us? That's why they teach that.
Black people are considered 3/5 of a human, and we have been considered that since they changed.
And to go along with what you just said.
But why do they put us there? Because they fear us. It's not that we belittle, not because we're beneath them. It's because a lot of them fear our history and who we are in crisis. They understand that in crisis we can elevate. But it's not because we stay together as a nation. No, because no matter where we go, no matter who we're with, we're going to grow in pressure. No matter who we date, we're going to grow in pressure. No matter
we always have to be the ones that have to grow.
Somebody makes an example. Somebody has to be the remnant that is the example.
And
we've always been the remnant. So why change? Why is that? Why does it have to change in this generation that we're the remnant that can't handle nothing anymore? We have to stay with it.
It's not about handling anything. It's about us having
pride and also
what make us not prideful marrying outside of our race?
Right.
Because we're teaching even our biracial children about our race, even though they're being taught in a school about the other side of the race. We're teaching at home.
But understand though that all of the greatness that you talked about, all that everyone was fearing of, has now been chopped in half.
You say,
and then get chopped again and passed down, and then get chopped again.
But that's a home issue. That's not a.
But listen, Pastor Pendelton, you said during the commercial break, none of us is pure anyway, because of all of the mixes and races. So, but you're saying that in a way of acceptance. I mean, what do? None of us is pure black, people. So but all he's saying is, why not start from now? Why not purify your race? Why not make your home?
So let's ask this question. So we will argue about our race dating another race. Like it's the plague on our community when we got so many.
Nobody said it's a plague.
I said no. I'm saying, but people are treating it like, oh, the other cultures have a problem when you marry outside their culture. That's their issue. Why do we have to take on another issue as the African American community? We already fighting enough issues.
That's not an issue. That's a standard.
The whole thing is that we are always the ones that have to conform. Why do we have to conform to what their society is or what
why don't we support black businesses? Why don't we start black schools?
Stop. The beginning, the core.
They teach us start as slavery. They don't teach our children that we were once kings and queens and all of that stuff. They don't teach us that.
The problem is we are looking for them to teach us stuff. But this is the core of what Omar is saying. It starts with family. So if we break up black family, we break up black community, we break up black pride. So what he is saying is it's important to fortify the black community, and you do that through family.
So wait a minute, I just want to answer this question, Mr. William Beelan. When I say purify your race, this is what I mean. It's not about physically like purifying the bloodline, cleaning. I don't mean it in that way. I'm saying why is it that we can't build in our home? Why can't we all walk this journey together? Why can't we all look like one another? Why can't we all take pride in our own, see the beauty in our own first? And it's not that looking at a person from another race and saying that they're beautiful or attractive is wrong. And even if you're dating them or if you're married, I'm still not saying that's wrong. Right. I'm saying I don't disagree with someone saying I want you as a parent to choose a woman in your race. For one, she can recognize, identify, understand, compromise, however you want to go with you, with the struggle, and not try so hard to accommodate your life and like for instance, we had Leslie on the show. Everybody know Leslie Swirl. I call it Swirl. Everybody know I love Swirl. But even Swirl, born and bred in the hood, will tell you there's certain things she just won't she won't understand. And it's not that she doesn't try. I don't mean that she's not just as hood or the next one, but there's certain aspects of the African American life that she just cannot mentally comprehend. But I love her. She loves me. We're still friends, and that's never going to change. And I know that she loves me, and she knows that I love her. But when it boils down to it, we are we identify, we recognize things, or not. No, what's the word? We understand things differently. We see things differently. We relate to things totally differently. But she will. What's the word? She will compromise. She will compromise, and she will work with me, vice versa, her, because we're friends. But there's certain things you don't have to do when you have someone that's like-minded, that knows you. That it's just a fight that you don't have to fight. I don't understand.
Yeah, I think that we just need to let people be. Like, there needs to be a group of people. If that's your stance, maintain that stance. Be proud of what you're standing for, but don't be mad at other people because they don't want to do it. Just if it starts with family, but at the same time, we can't knock them because that's how they feel.
We never knock them.
I totally agree. But let me tell you, let Tatum Channing come in here right now.
Oh, I love Tatum.
With a
That's
ring.
why I said it's not about saying
you going to jump ship if Tatum come in here with
out of all that conversation.
Right.
She was just putting.
I'm just saying.
Right. Ain't nobody said they
spit on my own
self.
So
would you
I was salivating.
or date outside of your race?
Sorry.
Why? Because that's not my thing.
Yeah, I don't want
to. So it's just a type thing. It's not about type of respect or honor for your race.
My parents never told us that. My parents never made a thing of you gotta date a black girl. You can't. For a time, I lived in Baltimore County when Baltimore County was predominantly white. We were one of the first families in Essex. We were one of the first families in Towson. And so I was living out there when I was the only African American kid in the neighborhood and in the school. Mm-hmm. And my parents never said that you had to date in your race. You had to like what was in your race.
You know, my grandma said.
I naturally married a black woman because I liked what I saw in her. I liked when I looked at her, I liked who she was. But have I dated outside my race? Yes, because I like what I looked at when I saw her.
But see, honestly,
you know my grandma said.
Do you think that as a parent, because like they said, you got the media pushing so much. You got the disrespect of black women and the building up. I'm just asking a question. You have this is what the media does. This is not about the parents. Right. The media shows the disrespect. You got the video vixen and the whole or whatever. Mm-hmm. Then you see, like I said, Becky with the good hair, the baby dolls. This is how it's presented to our young boys. Mm-hmm. That's how even if you as a parent or as an adult see it differently, our children are viewing the Nicki Minaj's,
they're living with Nicki Minaj.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying from a child's perspective, they seeing black women one way. They seeing other races another way. So if you have to choose in your mind a good girl or a good woman, you don't have that depicted on the TV as far as African Americans. Why can't the parents be the moral compass of the house the way they're supposed to say?
The moral compass of the house.
No.
I'm sorry. Because this is how I see it. During slavery, you would get killed for messing with a white woman, right? Mm-hmm. Emmett Till, murder for being suspected of whistling at a white woman. Right. So then in turn you grow up with grandparents that are telling you, grandparents and great-grandparents that are telling you, stay away from that white woman, don't say nothing to them white people, this, that, other. Then all of a sudden there's this change. And now it's acceptable. But the way I see it, back then they felt as though we weren't good enough to date their children. They tried every way that they could to break us, and it didn't work. So now, in turn, it's like, we can't break them. Let's water them down. That's how we'll break them. So now, when the black man dates a woman outside of his race, he feels like he's won a prize.
Right.
Basically not valuing the prize that he's always had.
And sometimes
these are our decisions. We can't blame that on the white man.
But it was never towards the white man.
If you don't believe that you're programmed in your everyday life and the decisions that you make every day, and the things that happen, society perpetuates those things. And if you pay attention, you'll see how it goes. We are programmed, and it depends on how much you're going to be programmed or what you're going to allow yourself to be programmed as.
I think that we play a key. Yes, we play a key role in what we allow our brains to receive and how we perceive ourselves. I do not see myself as less than anything. I do not. I see our African American, and it's our responsibility to teach that and instill that into our children.
So what you saying? My question for you, and Miss Pat Spencer, what you're saying? So would you prefer the parents push the black agenda, or push the whole that what you're seeing on television or whatever is not the black woman? Is it the mother's job to show them that that's not all black girls?
Let me say it to you.
It's politically correct to say color don't matter. See, God don't like ugly. It's politically correct. It is politically correct to say color don't matter. In this day and age, this is what we want to hear. We want to hear that color doesn't matter. And to some extent, it doesn't. But we have to admit that as a black group, as a whole, we have not loved ourselves enough. We have not instilled pride in ourselves enough. We haven't taught our children respect for ourselves enough. And we have to take full accountability for that. The moment that we realize that there are agendas, conspiracies, and programming going on, that's when we take ownership of it. We can't keep saying they did this, they did that, the white man this, the white man that. When do we accept ownership of it? And then when we have a group of people that accept ownership, we demonize them and make it seem like they're being racist because they took ownership in their own. Okay, that's great. If you don't want to, fine. Go find Becky and Lin Ling and all of them and have your mixed up babies and let them have their brown babies.
We got 1 minute. Let me just say this. I think the responsibility to teaching our children starts with their mother and father. You teach them pride on who they are. I agree with you. You teach them pride on who they are. You teach them who they are. You teach them that you are queens, you are kings, you come from this, you're grown from that. And you let them discover who they are as they continue to grow up.
And I guarantee you.
Let me finish. I didn't interrupt you in your 20-minute monologue.
I ain't let you.
Your 20-minute monologue. You didn't even breathe while you were talking about that. So I just want you. Go. Okay. I just want people to understand. We need to stop forcing people to have. Oh, you got to marry this color. You got to marry that color. If that's not what you. That's not what God has for you. That's not what you like. If you like one thing, enjoy what you like.
You just gotta
have because you like it don't mean God has.
I swear to goodness, he just gotta have this.
Can I sign it?
We'll be right back.
We're just back.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
you can't even see the top of that thing.
Even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange radio show. I'll let you speak on it. You know it better than I do.
All right, thank you, Nate. So the Say It Loud Film Festival is happening on April 16th, which is next Saturday from noon to 10 p.m. at nighttime. And we have partnered up with the No Boundaries Coalition. So I got to tell you the address real quick. It's 1947 Pennsylvania Avenue, which is where the Jubilee Arts Center is located. So we've partnered up with the No Boundaries Coalition, and the No Boundaries Coalition hosts an annual block party right there where we're going to be having the film festival.
Okay.
This is the 9th annual Boundary Block Party, and they are providing shuttle buses to take people to the voting booths because the Maryland primaries open on that same April 16th date that we're having the film festival and the block party. So we're going to be partnering up and promoting each other, and there's going to be these shuttle buses taking people to the voting booths to go vote. And we're going to have live music, live poetry, live dancing from a local high school, and then the films start at 7 p.m. at nighttime. So that's basically what's going on for the Say It Loud Film Festival in West Baltimore.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We back.
I'm sorry.
Spirit. Pray for a second.
I did. That's what I was doing. Like, God forgive me. I was not. That wasn't intended.
Jesus wept.
Before the commercial break, we were talking about Dr. Omar and interracial dating. But I do want to know, since you're here, because we only got a few minutes. I'm sorry, and I didn't bring it up because we kind of went left in the beginning about the cocoa.
Go ahead.
Can you fill me in on what this is going on with Jerusalem? Can you kind of tell me what's happening? Do you know?
Where the president's trying to make the capital Jerusalem.
He's moving the embassy
to Jerusalem.
It's all biblical prophecy. It's all biblical prophecy, and my issue is that we're mad at him because he wasn't the one that we decided to elect, but God chose him for this purpose, because any other president wouldn't have allowed this. We have to understand that the Bible said that Israel is God's chosen people.
Hold on, you talking about our president allowing this to happen?
Yeah, he's a big voice.
But that's not our country, though.
But he's a big voice in God's move.
This is going to be the first. This is going to be the first country to ever have an embassy in Jerusalem. So for us to move our embassy to Jerusalem, us being what would we call it, a power center, superpower, us being a superpower, moving our embassy to Jerusalem says that this is the central core place as far as the Middle East.
So we're trying to move it to,
and because we have an alliance with Israel.
Before we were looking like we were backing away from Israel.
Yes.
Well, but we can't speak as we, because we're not making that decision.
No. If he's speaking for us, we are making that decision.
Then you vote
if we didn't have to vote for him, when he speaks on behalf of the country, you're living there, and you're taking all covering and protection in. So guess what? While them people standing on the wall, you're being protected. Yes. So you're part of the we, whether you say something or not.
And U.S. having the embassy in Israel in Jerusalem protects Israel. Because we're their allies. So
you said Israel wrong.
We're pretty much making
for the mom ministry.
Because I don't know, so I have nothing to give. So I'm just
don't know what you're saying. Stop it.
But with the she was on the TV. I'm trying to get a show.
You just had a bomb dropped on Israel.
So we pretty much took the Israel flag as their ally, and we're gonna stick a spike in the middle of Jerusalem and claim Jerusalem for Israel. This is a war that has been going on
for decades, forever.
So this might sound stupid. I just want to know why you're saying it. Can we go to Jerusalem? Like, we can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a part of it?
No, that's not going to be. You will still need a passport.
I'm trying to figure out what is the significance of the U.S. with this.
There's an embassy there. So when you go to Jerusalem, the embassy is
U.S.
ground. Soil.
The embassy. There was no embassy in Jerusalem before. Right. Now there isn't. So why are they? Well, right, there will be one. So why are they bombing in Jerusalem? Like, what's the anger about? Why is
that's their own internal war.
They've been fighting.
They ain't nothing but two brothers fighting over the birthright. They ain't nothing but Issachar and Israel fighting over the birthright.
But that has nothing to do with the U.S. Nothing. Flat out, the only thing that the U.S. right now is taking a part in is coming to Jerusalem.
For
oil?
If we're talking biblical prophecy,
yeah,
if prophecy must be, this has to happen.
Every nation gonna rise up against them. I don't care who you are.
Right.
I don't care how it's gonna rise up against Israel. Every nation gonna rise up against it. If you're talking about prophecy, what Donald Trump is doing is putting himself in a good position to have a voice there. Because there's a lot of money that's gonna come from it.
Got it.
Say oil.
Huh?
Okay.
Oil.
Well, now I know. I really didn't know. So I'm glad that my guest, Bishop Harris, you're so rude.
I thought we left the titles.
Oh,
that's fine. Go.
And Pastor Pendelton.
Who? That's true.
Well, I mean, we're talking about nations rising up in biblical prophecy. Oh Lord, prophecy. Then we just might as well put the titles on. I think everybody. Huh?
I don't want
and
District Elder.
My name. No.
Then the district.
My name is Lisha X.
No.
Elder.
Lisha X.
Lisha
D.
Intercontinental
G. And also who came strolling in, who engineered his part, Mr. Nate from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
I wish y'all could see his face.
His face a mess. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching with us tonight. We always appreciate y'all tuning in and watching. I'm telling you, because you don't have to. So we thank you all, and we thank you for sharing. And listen, that song that you heard, like I said, "Smile" by Love Dawn, available on iTunes. Thank you ever so much. If you get a chance, go check it out. You can go on YouTube too. You just want to listen to it, it's okay. But if you want to support, go to iTunes. It's 99 cents. I thank you. And we will see you next week. Listen, next week is our last show for the year. And then after that, we will be back in January. We got some stuff in store. January when? January 4th? Okay, we'll be back January 4th. But next week, we'll be here for the last show for the year. So, stay tuned. Have a good one.
I wanted to smile.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see